Anyways, that's what I was telling you about the
See it right here.
Good evening and welcome to our Please be seated. Well, good evening again. I'm Bob Custer, the president of Eastern Kentucky University. It is a delight to have you all with us going up this beautiful ravine. This commencement, like all commencements, is the university's most ceremonial event. It is marked by dignity, respect, honor, and tonight, a lack of rain. It is our highest holiday, a time to rejoice in the bountiful harvest of our labors. Nothing brings greater joy than to recognize the accomplishments of our students. This is an important event for you graduates because it marks the passing of a significant milestone in your lives. It is most fitting that on this evening, in the summer of 2000, commencement is being held in what we at EKU affectionately refer to as the ravine. Perhaps a few of you, alumni among us, could tell more interesting stories about the ravine than I'm about to tell. But nonetheless, I will share with you a few moments of history about this very, very special place. The history and traditions associated with this lush and beautiful setting go back to the pioneer days of Kentucky, when Daniel Boone, whose statue is just a few hundred yards from here, named the stream on whose banks he had received a warning in a dream, the Dreaming Creek. This very ravine is the source of Dreaming Creek, and of course it runs through Richmond and Madison County. It is also worthy of note that during Eastern Kentucky's early years, the Olmsted brothers, nationally prominent landscape architects, were employed to study the entire campus and submit plans for building locations and plantings of shrubs and trees. In 1933, nearly 100 trees were planted by the faculty, staff, and students, as well as members of the Richmond community in this ravine. According to the plan the Olmsted brothers had created for the campus, the founder of their firm, by the way, was none other than Frederick Law Olmsted, the designer of Central Park in New York City and Cherokee Park in Louisville. Now, this next part is my favorite, because the fact is the ravine is known for something else. Among those few of us that have either had this handed down to us by those who have come before us, are those that actually remember the days when Mozart walked this very campus. As a matter of fact, this is Mozart's final resting place. He roamed the campus in the 50s and the 60s, and he loved to march with our band at football games. I guess it should come as no shock to you that the Mozart to whom I'm referring is not, of course, the famous composer, but a much beloved dog, the campus mascot in those days, and he's buried directly behind this pavilion. So after the ceremony, you might want to pay your respects. And by the way, I am indebted to Mr. Charles Hay, our university archivist for this bit of campus history and a lot more campus history that I don't have the time to go into this evening. Thank you, Charles. In today's ceremonies, we will formally confer 156 master's degrees, 1 specialist degree, 327 bachelor's degrees, and 16 associate degrees, thereby formally recognizing our students for their diverse accomplishments. Commencement is also the time when we recognize others who have contributed to the strengthening of the university and its purposes. These individuals have provided role models and have facilitated the education of our students. I ask the following to stand as they are presented and remain standing so that we may welcome and recognize them as a group. Will the grandparents of the candidates for graduation please stand? How about it? We have some grandparents in the crowd? Don't be shy.
On behalf of the Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University, I want to extend to you a personal welcome to all of you here today who've come together to celebrate this really neat event in the lives of all of those who are about to have degrees conferred upon them. It's a new beginning for you, and I am pleased that so many of our graduates could be here, and more importantly, that their family and friends could join them on this very special occasion in their lives. As a resident of Madison County and an Eastern graduate myself longer ago than I now care to admit, I am particularly proud to acknowledge so many first-generation graduates from this university. Would all of the degree candidates who are the first in their family to earn a college degree please rise so that we may congratulate you on your achievement with our applause. Much about this university as a university that gives the opportunity to those who have the willingness and perseverance to complete the degree requirements and graduate from this university with the ability to do things. I know that in many cases that you have overcome a number of obstacles to be here, and your perseverance is to be commended. I can assure each and every one of the graduates that from the board's perspective, you have and will receive an excellent return on your investment in post-secondary education here at Eastern. The value of your education does not and will not end when you have that diploma in your hand tonight, but that education will continue to draw compound interest throughout your lives. On behalf of the board and myself, we wish you well as you begin this new journey, and ask that you always happily remember your years at Eastern Kentucky University, and we want to invite you to come back early and often. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Provost Morrison, for that very kind introduction. Last week, I was walking by the library, and I noticed a young man with his family touring the campus. And I've passed by these prospective students and their parents countless times in my years at EKU. But this time, I was compelled to stop. The irony of watching them tour the campus for the first time, just as I was preparing to bid my farewell, was bittersweet. The faces of the parents shone with pride as they shared the excitement of this neatly dressed young man with carefully combed hair. His stride betrayed his anticipation as they passed by me and then on. And I stood there for a while, wondering what it would be like if I could have a glimpse of myself on that day when it was all so new. And I realized that I probably would hardly even recognize myself. Because regardless of who we were when we stepped onto this campus for the first time, tonight we leave as very different people, and it's people that I'm very proud we've become. We all expect that our college experiences will be a time of personal growth, but for many of us, this has been a place where we've done much of our growing up. And when I was thinking about what I would say tonight, I decided just to go to some different places on campus and sit quietly. And what I found in these places were the specters of my experiences permeating every corner. Some were very familiar, and others generated only a flutter of recognition. And I thought back to that eager young man from last week, and I wish that I had told him to savor those moments just a little longer. And I wish that I had told him how important they would one day become to him. And I'm going to encourage you all now that before you leave tonight, to take just a moment, just to sit for a minute or two with all of those experiences that have culminated into this moment right now where paths diverge. Many of you sitting here tonight were kind enough to talk to me about commencement, and I found that your enthusiasm for the future was infectious. Because tonight we not only mark our final curtain call on our experiences here at EKU, but we celebrate being perched at the brink of untold adventures. And I can only hope to relate some of that optimism on your behalf to those who have assembled with us here tonight. Overwhelmingly, when I asked you what was important about this evening, you told me that you are particularly proud of EKU's tradition of extending opportunities for education where those opportunities once did not exist. Every one of you told me that it was important for you to be part of an institution that prides itself in helping many of us to be the first in our families to graduate college. Because education allows us to break out of the frameworks. It allows us to transcend the minimum. And although being first-generation graduates speaks volumes about our individual ambitions, it says a great deal more about our social ambitions. It says that it is important that every one of us be afforded the opportunity to succeed. The path that has brought us here tonight has been smooth for none. We have each overcome our own obstacles, we've each fought our own demons, and we've each made our own sacrifices. Those close to us who are here tonight have given us strength, even though they are sometimes the ones who suffer the most. Many of you have worked multiple jobs to support your educations, and others of you have gallantly juggled family responsibilities. But whatever your individual challenges were, they only sweeten your achievement and testify to your tenacity. Because there is no room in education for short-term thinking. Education is about the long term. It is our foundation for the future, which rests on our ability to persevere even when the end is not yet in sight. We seek in education to increase our opportunities as individuals, but by becoming educated, we multiply our opportunities as a people. Many of us originally came to this campus to acquire the skills necessary to our respective trades. But most importantly, once we got here, we learned how to think. One of you told me that the importance of education lies not in developing the tools to form an opinion, but in learning how to change our opinions. I think that this is exactly what empowers us. It's this notion that what you are willing to learn is more important than what you know. It is this realization that allows us to adapt, to excel, and to continually evaluate ourselves and have the courage to make adjustments. I say that we become empowered because each of us has worked very hard to be able to exert more control over the directions of our lives. Education allows us to at least steer our fate. However, the cumulative effect of individual empowerment is the strengthening of the group. Tonight, we not only gain more control over the direction of our individual lives, but education has empowered us to shape the direction of our communities and beyond. We have learned to nudge at the boundaries, to tear down those external and internal parameters that limit us. We come together tonight with the ability not to subscribe to the definitions that society provides us, but to write our own. The university is a place of diversity and difference, both in terms of people and of ideas. One of the most important tools that we take from this campus is the ability to forge a variety of relationships, both professional and social. It is here that we learn how to disagree while remaining friends, and it is here that we learn how to embrace and be enriched by diversity and how to grow through our differences rather than being limited by them. We take with us tonight not the ability to expand our circle, but to reinvent its boundaries and to chart entirely new connections. The first time I graduated, I was scared. At every turn, someone was asking me what I planned to do, and it made me very anxious. But my apprehension the first time I graduated was the result of the notion that there was a world out there that I had to fit into. Tonight, my optimism comes from the realization that we create the world out there. Change today comes fast and furious. The progression is perpetual. We can no longer simply keep up, but we must be dynamic generators of the future. Therefore, tonight, I ask you to not ask us what we will do, because I think that the key may just lie in where we will start. And finally, on behalf of the summer 2000 graduating class, I'd like to conclude by expressing our fondest appreciation to those of you who have gathered with us tonight, for this is your achievement too. To our loved ones, to our friends, and to our teachers, thank you.
Dr. Dominic Hart, Interim Dean, will present candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences. Provost Marsden, these candidates have met all of the requirements for their degrees and have been approved by the faculty.
Christy Ann Price. Amy Lynn Stess.
Thomas R. Pope, Krista Dawn,
Laura Ellen Ham. Dennis Ray Jones. Robbie Allen Nolan. Let me say it again. Abbott Nolan, correct.
the Master Tucker, Lorraine Denise Lalonde Wade, Shannon McComas Morris, Cara Marie Bailey, Trivia Rachel Bledsoe, Robin Denise Bunye, Allison Marie Caldwell, Kelly Renee Carr, Tanya Michelle Chan, Catherine Elizabeth Fraley, David Brent Hamilton, Janet Gale.
So already to switch your tassels from right to left. All right, you're official. I'd like to call upon Eva Vaughn, the new president of our National Alumni Association, to offer words of greeting. Congratulations and welcome all of you to the Eastern Kentucky University Alumni Association, whose membership, as of this moment, totals 89,511. That's as of 8:42 anyway. Let's give a hand to all the new alums. A videotaped copy of this commencement will be available in a few weeks. Instructions on how to order will be sent to all graduates. Graduates, the faculty and staff share in your joy at this moment of achievement. Following the recessional, we invite you and your family and friends proceed to your individual college receptions in the Keene Johnson building. The specific locations where freshmen await you are printed in your program. We would ask all members of the audience to stand for singing of the alma mater and remain standing until the platform committee.
Allison, show me your thing.